Welcome to your week 1 summary and week 2 overview video. Now if we scroll down through Learning Space and we have a look at week 1, so this is what we've just completed, what you will see is all of the sessions with their headings of the session, with all of the PowerPoints and the videos, the recording of the videos of the session below, any additional resources, and then the feedback that you've been providing us with for every single session. So we will see the same format of PowerPoint and then session recording for you to watch back in your own time, or if you've missed any of the sessions, then you can go back and watch them at any point. Now in terms of the tasks that you need to make sure you've completed in week 1, we've obviously got the tasks around using the library, using Discovery, which are going to be based on for your assessment, and then obviously the other tasks that you've completed for both Phil and myself. So make sure they're done in addition to your gap analysis, which you then should have submitted into this gap analysis submission here. Now if we close that down, if we minimize that and open up week 2, what you will be able to see is your session topics, some resources we've started to populate already, and as we go down through the different sections, we're populating these over the weekend and early next week. So that will start to build for you so you can see what you're doing next week, over the weekend and early part of next week. But if we do click on weekly schedule for week 2, what you will see is we're going to continue with this theme around the 3 sectors, and we've kind of finished the private sector for now. We're having a look at the public sector, which Phil introduced with you today, of the early part of the week. And as we move into the middle and the late part of the week, we're going to start to look at the voluntary sector and then how the 3 sectors interlink with each other and connect with each other. In addition to that, we've got this session here around referencing, where myself and Tom are going to deliver in terms of using the appropriate APA referencing system, which you would need to in both your EduBlog and presentation assessment, but also throughout the rest of your degree. So if we go back and close week 2 and look at assessment information, you've got the assessment brief here for the EduBlog and the presentation task. And if we open up the EduBlog assessment brief, you will see the tasks that you've been set, in addition to the deadline, a pretty standard format, and then the marking framework on page 2 with a description of the types of things we're going to assess you against, and also what we're going to weight each of those, how much we're going to weight each of those. There's more information on this in the module introduction video. If you've not watched it yet, please go and watch that. You should find it really useful. Now, in terms of your EduBlog task, you obviously need to create a professional website. You need to create your EduBlog. So you'll find guidance of how to do that here in setting up an EduBlog for your assessment. Now, if we open that, you will see a kind of introduction and then a table of contents, which may be a bit further down on your screen. It depends how this embeds with your screen setup. But if you can't find anything, just click here to navigate through these pages. Now, if we get to the second page, setting up your site, this is really important that you go through this slowly and you read it through and you don't rush through all of this to then build your EduBlogs. Now, to get to the main site, you can click here, Marge on EduBlog's homepage. It will take you to the main EduBlog site. I'm already logged in. You will have to log in up here with your main Marge on credentials, and then you can go and create your own blog. You will also need to attach that to our class page. I will put a message in our group chat as to how we do that. But if you follow through all of this guidance, then you should be able to navigate through creating that really quickly. And it's important you do try and do that quickly over the weekend, early part of next week, so you can start uploading and building your EduBlog as you're going, rather than trying to rush that at the end. Now, what you will also see on your EduBlog is you need to reflect on your wider study skills, such as your note-taking strategies. So I've put an additional resource here on your Learning Space page about effective note-taking. You can click on that and navigate through these pages, which are different ways of taking notes, and you can use that to reflect on how well you currently take notes. Now, when we look at a presentation assessment, again, you've got the assignment brief, but you've also got this short video here to watch of how to create an effective presentation. So please watch that as a huddle before you start trying to prepare and create your PowerPoint presentation, as this will give you some tips as to the types of things that you can do to make your PowerPoint and your presentation more effective. Now, the final thing really to bring your attention to is the additional support that you may want away from your talk sessions. So you may want to ask us some questions in terms of around the assessment or the content or anything else. And the most effective way really to do that is in Microsoft Teams in the chat function. So just send us a message and we can reply to you reasonably quickly. Now, if you do scroll up to the top of your Learning Space page, you will see this tutorial support part up here. And up here, if you want to book a tutorial, as in your support requires a conversation, then you can click on our names and it will take you to a separate booking page where you can see a range of dates and a range of times that you can book in for. So you can navigate through, find something that suits you, put your name and email in, a couple of questions that are optional, and then click book. And that will automatically book in your calendar and our calendar with a Microsoft Teams link for you to join for us to have that tutorial. Now, it may be that actually your request is a bit more urgent, or it may be that this just doesn't fit for you. If that's the case, message us on Microsoft Teams, and both myself and Phil will do everything we can to be more flexible to provide you with a better slot for a tutorial. But this is your way of booking initially, and if there is something that suits you, please book through the system. So as a reminder, we finished week 1. Please make sure you've completed the tasks, the gap analysis, and put it in there. The using the library study skills task, you don't need to finish that yet, but you will eventually need to, and whilst it's fresh, we suggest you do, and the same for using discovery. So keep working through those tasks. Make sure the gap analysis is submitted. Obviously enjoy your weekend and relax, and then we'll look forward to seeing you next week. So if I go back to the schedule, on Monday for an online session with Phil, some tasks, and then on Tuesday for some face-to-face sessions with Phil, and then with myself and Tom.